Hi everyone, in this video we'll talk about food and immunity. You might have heard that XYZ supplement or food can boost your immunity. These kind of information is flooding the internet. But do you really know the cellular and molecular mechanism by which several food can boost your immunity? Do you know the science behind it? If you want to know that, then this video is for you. Stay tuned till the end of this video and you would get some clarity. So starting with the food items that can possibly boost your immunity. Current clinical research and preclinical research suggest that food items which are enriched in vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, C and zinc can boost your immune responses. In a moment it would be clear that how these individual nutrients can possibly augment your immune response or can possibly modulate your immune response. Along with these vital items, recently it is known that omega-3 fatty acids are playing significant role in terms of immune modulation. We'll learn about all of these things in this video. Okay, but before we start, we should really nullify one misconception. There is no one-to-one correlation between a food item and immunity. For example, let's say citrus fruit like orange contains vitamin C. Don't think that only consuming citrus fruit in a large quantity would help you to fight all these pathogens. This kind of one-to-one correlation is not true. Things are far more complicated and a balanced proportion is required. So let me give you an idea. You need an overall balanced diet to improve your immunity. So this balanced diet would contain all the necessary items that your immune system need to thrive. So all these important items would modify your metabolism and thereby change your immune status. And that would help you to fight and combat the pathogens. Now, if we talk a little bit in details, we would understand that first criteria is to take good food or balanced diet. But food is not the only criteria for boosting the immunity. Food along with several other criteria is required to boost the immunity. Food alone cannot boost the immunity if you have a lot of stress or lifestyle problems there, right? So food along with subsequent amount of fluid in your body, adequate amount of sleep, your stress level and ignoring bad habits, all of these combination can work together to boost your immune response. Let's say if you have bad habits and you are taking some good amount of food and good balanced diet, that does not ensure that you would have a boosted immune system. So all of these factors would really be important for your immune system to function properly. Now let me give you some specific example for your better understanding. Arginine is one of the amino acids that we get from protein diet, and this is very important for immune function. How is that? Because one of our surveillance cell, which is known as macrophages, which is a key cell type in the innate immune response, requires this amino acid. From arginine, macrophage produce reactive nitrogen species, which is crucial for them to fight against pathogens. They destroy pathogens with the help of reactive oxygen and reactive nitrogen species. So production of reactive nitrogen species is crucial for them, and arginine is the amino acid which is the substrate for making reactive nitrogen species. That means you need to have sufficient amount of protein in your diet, right? Now, here is the misconception. So, just because you get arginine from your protein diet, you might think, okay, let's eat a lot of meat, steaks and red meat. Yes, you would get adequate amount of arginine. But there are other problems. First of all, you're intaking a lot of calories, and more you intake red meat, you are tipping the balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Now let me tell you what are they. If you want to know more about omega-3 and omega-6, you can click on the link in the I button to learn more about it. Now, we ideally need more omega-3s than omega-6, and this balance is very important because once omega-6s are more, it can increase the chances of inflammation because the inflammatory mediator known as prostaglandin is generally synthesized from omega-6 fatty acid, namely arachidonic acid. So, we need to have a diet where omega-3 is more. Generally, diet in Mediterranean countries have more omega-3 compared to omega-6. Now, our diet in India is more like Western diet, which is more oily stuff, and it is enriched in omega-6 compared to omega-3 fatty acids, and that is not good. Now, omega-3 fatty acid inhibits prostaglandin synthesis by blocking a crucial enzyme in this process, whereas omega-6 fatty acid augments that. That means a balance between omega-6 and omega-3 is absolutely essential. And we evolved like this. Billions of years ago, in prehistoric era, the consumption of omega-6 and omega-3 was in 1-to-1 ratio. Now, around 1900s, this ratio is now tipped to 10:1, more omega-6 consumption. And in 2021, it is 20:1. We have more omega-6 in our diet than omega-3. And this altered balance is causing many problems, including poor immunity, heart diseases, and many more. So omega-3 and omega-6 balance should be always 1:1. That's the target, and that's how we evolved. So let's come to the moral of the story because this is important. So we need to include a lot of walnut, salmon, tuna, chia or flaxseed in our diet. And we should avoid eating too much of red meat, processed food, and all these other items that are enriched in omega-6 fatty acid. Now comes vitamin E. Vitamin E is one of the most important antioxidant in our body. Vitamin E can be obtained from various sources. Before the sources, I'll tell you how vitamin E modulates our immune system. It modulates both adaptive and the innate arm of the immune system. So dendritic cell, macrophages, T cells, B cells, and NK cells all are modulated with the help of vitamin E. Now, there are several molecules which are crucial for all of these cell type functions are differentially regulated when vitamin E levels fluctuate. So having a balanced level of vitamin E in our body is absolutely essential for our immune function. When we talk about immune function, that does not always mean that augmented immune function or boosted immune function. It talks about our immune homeostasis. That means a balanced level, right? Now, cell culture experiments has backed up many data. They have elucidated the role of zinc in immune modulation. Doctors often say that zinc has immune boosting effects, and let me explain how. And experimentally, it was proven. So, T cells, which are crucial players in our immune system, they need to grow, divide, and proliferate, and it's so important. One of the cytokine, interleukin-2, is important for their division. So interleukin signaling, which is autocrine signaling, is crucial for T cell proliferation. Now, scientists have done one experiment. They cultured T cell with high zinc containing media and low zinc containing media. And later on, they checked the level of IL-2, which is indicative of how much a T cell might proliferate and so. So they found that interleukin mRNA levels were significantly high when the zinc level was high. That means the chances are when zinc is present, these T cells would proliferate more or prepare themselves more for a combat. That means balanced level of zinc is crucial. Now you must be thinking that what is the balance level? Now Before that, let me tell you, zinc deficiency can cause severe effects. Zinc deficiency might have adverse effect on humoral immunity. There could be thymic atrophy in absence of zinc. That means thymus is the hub for production of T cells, so T cells would be reduced in that case. Other than that, lymphopenia is one of the aspects of this zinc deficiency where lymphocyte numbers would be reduced. Let's talk about daily requirement. If we talk about a male, adult male, we need 11 milligrams of zinc daily, where a female need 8 milligrams in normal state, whereas 10 to 11 milligram during pregnancy. Now, daily requirement of zinc can be easily met with the help of several foods. And here is a list of food which is enriched in zinc. So, 10 milligrams of zinc can be obtained per oyster. Oyster is one of the richest source of zinc. Apart from oyster, if you eat beef steak, chicken, you would get substantially high amount of zinc per 100 grams of that meat. Other than that, tofu, lentils, mushroom, all of these have quite a lot of amount of zinc. Now, while consuming these food, you have to always understand that what amount of calorie you are intaking. Let's say just because beef steak has a lot of zinc, that doesn't mean you are going to eat a lot of beef steak, because it would increase your cholesterol, it would increase your omega-6, so it would tip the balance again. So the overall story is you need to balance your calorie intake and food intake based on these substances and based on calorie calculation. Now let's talk about vitamin D, which is another proven immune boosting or immune boosting substance. So vitamin D, which is known as 1,25 dihydroxycholecalciferol, that is important for its immune modulatory function. So let's try to understand it in a bit more details. When it comes to innate immune system, both macrophages and dendritic cell, which are the key player of this system, they do have vitamin D receptors. That tells us that they are capable of responding to vitamin D. Now, vitamin D receptors are found in dendritic cell, and vitamin D receptors are nuclear receptor, which can go to the nucleus upon vitamin D binding and lead to many genetic changes. Now question come, which gene does it change? And here is the key insight. So there are several cytokines which leads to a lot of inflammation in our body, right? Vitamin D reduce the pro-inflammatory cytokines which causes problem. You might be familiar that IL-6 storm or interleukin storm is a key cause of death in COVID patient. Now vitamin D has a modulatory role in the relative levels of that. So vitamin D reduce the pro-inflammatory cytokines, whereas it increase anti-inflammatory cytokines such as IL-10. And essentially, vitamin D balance the level of inflammation in our body, and which is crucial. Now, since we learned about all of these macro and micronutrients, their importance in terms of immunity, we have to understand that along with food, sometimes sunlight exposure is very important because it's important for vitamin D synthesis. And here are some list of vitamin D enriched food. We can get vitamin D from cheese, cereals, butter, egg, milk, and fish. Now, the thing that we need to understand as a third world country is that how we can afford these kind of food, because many of the food items that I have shown right now, which are enriched in nutrients, but they are absolutely costly. And how a middle class man can afford all these costly food, who is struggling to get some bowl of rice every day, how can he even think about these kind of balanced proportion of diet? And that is why consulting with a nutritionist and doctor is important, just to know about the alternative sources of these nutrients. If not possible, it is also feasible to take supplements that might temporarily balance the level of these macro and micronutrients in somebody's system. And it is crucial to get rid of all the bad habits such as alcoholism and cigarette smoking, which can kill your immune system or which can reduce the efficiency of your immune system. If you want to know more about how alcohol can reduce your immune system, let me know in the comment. I'll make a video on that. Now, if you like my video, give it a quick thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.